What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more J-drama score, and we're returning to the excellent soundtrack for Season 1 of Code Blue, sometimes called Code Blue Helicopter Doctor, because it is indeed about an emergency helicopter medical team that is airlifted in whenever there is a serious medical emergency that normal or local medical resources cannot handle. And the sort of tagline or premise behind the show is that 1 extra second can make the difference if someone is in a serious situation. 1 extra helicopter could end up saving people that might otherwise die. And for each and every saved life, the Japanese public's trust in medical institutions and hospitals might improve, and therefore there are more lives that can be saved if the skilled team in question can rise to the challenge. It's about a group of young medical school graduates who are trained specifically to be part of this helicopter emergency team, and the struggles and travails that they all go through. They have sort of different levels. Yamapi, or Tomohisa Yamashita, is the main character, and he's sort of an ace. Aragaki Wii is in the show. She is excellent as well. There's a couple other characters who are maybe not quite on the same level, but still, top of their class, and it's all about the way they learn to become professionals under the tutelage of an actor whose name is eluding me, as well as some of the other senior doctors at the hospital they work at. But yes, it's a 3-season show, and then there's a feature film. Now, the first 2 seasons were '08 and '09. The third season came 7 years later, and it's maybe the best season of all three, and then the film came a year or two after the end of season 3. And yes, I've mentioned before, it's something that I would like to do a watch-along for. Admittedly, the first season, half the season, has dubious subtitles. Not terrible. There's never a moment where it's not clear what's happening. There's just, after the first 4 or 5 episodes where the subtitles are great, it then goes into this secondary mode where the subtitles are, there's grammar mistakes, there's some spelling mistakes, but even so, I am considering doing a watch-along for it after I finish not just Hanayori Dango, and right now I'm in the middle of the second season, and I'll be doing the feature film after that, and then Hananochi Hare, which is the sequel show. So it would have to at least be after that, and there's some other shows I've been talking about wanting to do, like Lucky 7, so decisions to make. But hopefully, and the issue about the amount of time available on Patreon notwithstanding, hopefully I can figure something out with Mega Drive or something otherwise. At some point, we'll go through Code Blue, because it's a beautiful show, it's an amazing show, and not even dubious subtitles for some of the first season and a little bit of the second season. None of the third season. Third season has great subtitles all the way through, but even those dubious subtitles can't stop the impact of the show. Now we're going to listen to a tune from Season 1, the soundtrack to Season 1. The soundtracks, I think, for all 3 seasons are done by Sato Naoki, and we're going to listen to, is it Noiseless Period? Yes, Noiseless Period. This is a very emotional tune. It's another tune that plays during some moments where there's both action happening, but mental reflection, either from the people who are undergoing the trauma or indeed the medical team themselves. It's a very powerful tune. It's a tune that I think reflects the noble aspect of the work that they do, and also the way that lives can be saved and rescued from severe or seemingly fatal situations. So there's a serenity to it, but there's also a nobility to the track. So let's give it a listen. This is Noiseless Period by Sato Naoki, the composer for the Code Blue soundtrack. And again, this is the soundtrack for Season 1 from 2008. It's beautiful. It's incredible. I mean, I can't even remember, like, the amount of times that show made me weep over the course of the 3 seasons and the film is not calculable, clearly. Nevertheless, yes, there's such humanity in the show, and I think that track, among a number of others, conveys that depth of emotion and human spirit very well. As I said, it's played in moments that are both, I guess, fundamentally sad, but also fundamentally or overwhelmingly inspiring and heroic. So I think it captures all those qualities. I enjoy that pulse, which I think is done maybe by drum machine, but some form of percussion. But it also sounds like maybe there's some like pizzicato strings, I'm not sure. But it just keeps this time while these sweeping and smooth pads and strings are providing a lot of the depth and the emotion. So yes, it's just a well composed and executed track, not only as an independent piece of music, but as a tune reflective of the humanity of the show that it comes from. So yes, it's just a really great tune from an awesome soundtrack from a brilliant show, subtitles notwithstanding. So as I said, maybe soon, maybe a little bit down the road, somewhere we'll go through Code Blue in all of its glory, all 3 seasons and the film, because it really has to be seen to be believed. It's just incredible. I mean, like, listen to that. I want to just like put on an episode right now, so I'm going to shoot some more audio reactions, but nevertheless, it's amazing. Shout out to Sato Naoki. Like, the diversity of the soundtrack. I mean, I did a reaction to a tune called Player from this soundtrack way back, now a couple years ago, and if you listen to that, it's like this Brazilian samba, jazz, almost like a bit of rock. It just has a completely different feel. And then I did a reaction to Misty DPS, which has this down-tempo, Sybian type of feel, and that's just a hint of the flavors on season 1 soundtrack alone, never mind the soundtrack over the course of the 3 seasons. And I'm not sure, maybe the movie has a soundtrack too. I don't remember specifically. I certainly don't have it, even though I do have the discs for all 3 soundtracks for the proper seasons. But yeah, there's just an incredible range of tunes over the course of the soundtracks just from the 3 seasons, even if a lot of it, you can say, is very much score or soundtrack music in a general sense. So yeah, once again, shout out to Sato Naoki, shout out to Yamapi and to Erika Toda and to Aragaki Wii maybe in particular, but again, those are only the 3 most, I think, prominent of the great performances that are in the main cast of the show. So very much looking forward to talking more about this. We'll go through more. I think I've done like 3 reactions now to season 1, 2 reactions to season 2, meaning the soundtracks, and 1 reaction to season 3, and they all have 10, 15 tunes on them, so plenty more to go from these soundtracks. Do let me know what you think, and Luca, the horizontal cat, and I shall see you next time. Peace. She's leaving with me.